Well, here we are, guys. Back again. Yeah, bouncy, bouncy, upside down T. Well, if I swing around, in fact, look, I'll just go into this. Right, I hate that. You can see I've done a little bit of a clean-up job here, just kind of make it a little bit more easy to operate. If I run over here, you'll see I've actually set up an area for the barrels. It's so bright, shiny. Yes, it hasn't all been hooked up, but that's kind of not the point, because what I'm here to do is just kind of clean up some loose ends. So, you remember what I was saying about that lock? Well, the thing is, once you take something out, and I'll show you where I originally had this, and there was a bit of confusion. So, anyway, so you can see here, there was ore in there, and it got slurped out, and it got processed, and once it all got processed, the barrel went empty, and it was no longer locked. This one, on the other hand, got all the items out, because if you have a look at the top left-hand corner, you'll see, sorry, top left-hand corner, top middle, blue box. See, copper ore, 0 items. Yeah, well, not surprising. But the thing is, it's got the lock. Now, how do you lock a barrel? Well, I'll choose this one because those waypoints are getting in the way. Here's one that originally had some ore in it. It's been slurped out, but because it didn't have the lock, it didn't remember what it was supposed to keep. So what you do is you hold the shift key and you right click, and now it's locked. Shift right click. Yeah, 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 yeah. So if I put stuff in there, once it's been slurped out and it's locked, then whatever's in there will, a template, a kind of a context holder, if you like, for that will get kept, which is kind of useful. So it's just loose ends. This episode is just about loose ends. So yeah, I cleaned up all the. Don't need you. Come here. Oh, when you're locking, see, when you're locking these things, empty hand. If you've got something in your hand, it won't work properly. So just be aware. Okay. So as I said, I did a bit of a clean up. It wasn't fantastic. It's not. It's a work in progress. You can't see it, but behind that gap, there's other stuff that's going to be put in place and locked off and so on. This all came about because I ran out of force ingots. It's, yeah, need them badly. So I'm going to show you how quarries and all that kind of stuff operates. And you can see that I've done a bit of a clean-up job, so there's not much junk floating around. What? I've still got a redstone furnace sitting here. Why have I got a redstone furnace? It's powered as well. Never mind. And we've still got that random thing, which I'm going to sit there because it's going to be constant irritating. A splinter in my mind. Just to remind me that I've got to clean all this lot up, because I've got a series of tutorials specifically to do with different types of ducts and why you should use some over the other and when you shouldn't use them and so on and so forth. This kind of came about because my brother had a little bit of a problem. I'm yes, anyway, he has a huge complex outside, and he was playing around with the energy cubes, and in the course of doing that he managed to crash the server. And the reason being is that he was connecting up Galacticraft cables and aluminum cables and mechanism energy cubes and different blah 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 blah. Anyway, the server went absolutely nuts and proceeded to fall flat on its face, dribbling and drooling in the corner. 100% CPU, blah blah blah. Yeah, so I did a bit of digging around, and I found that part of the problem is the different types of cables and how they hook up to different types of devices, and apparently it's a known problem. So I'm currently running 2.8.7.4 RR yogs. If I upgrade to 2.8.7.5 RR yogs, CAS complete, apparently some of those particular problems go away. So I'm going to be doing that, but in the meantime, as you can see, I've just done a bit of a clean-up job. So there you go. Not much of an episode, not much happened. Barrels, yeah, with a bit of lighting, whatever. And I've also got dusts in here and blaze powder, which you glowstone, get dust and whatnot, all of which you get from ex nihilo, blah blah blah. Forgetting my Latin from back in the 60s. From nothing, which means you sieve stuff and you get things like this lot, which is all very useful. It doesn't look it, but it is. And yeah, I managed to score a lot of sulfur. I don't know why, so I stuck it in this beholdall for the moment. The same goes for Vintium dust. I managed to get an awful lot of that. I don't know why. All of those are empty. Don't worry about it. Rest of it cleaned up. I've put all the stuff to do with better barrels in here. Here's all the structural upgrades. Blah blah blah. And I haven't got all the actual storage upgrades in here because I used them all. But we'll get to that. Yeah, so I've got one hiding over in the corner here because I'm sick to death of this coral rock and don't know what to do with it. So if anybody can give me a clue, that would be of most use. Thank you. Yeah, so clay, saltpeter. I have memories of squaddies in the 60s when I lived on military bases talking about this, and it sounded really, really awful, so I don't know quite what to do with that. Yeah, baked beans. Red rock cobblestone. Baked beans. That's how Baked Bean Fort was created. Yes, we've got some other clays and whatnot. Well, there's a bit of bread in here, don't know why. Anyway, so, yep. I've got... Will you bloody open? Thank you. Food, seeds, whatever, more bread, whatever. I'll give you a tour in a minute. Spell stuff, because I've got a bunch of... What the hell? Chests? Doesn't matter, whatever. Ender pearls, whatever, which you can get from undersea. You can get all this coral stuff, and you can get pearls, and you can culture them and whatnot, and you can actually get ender pearls from these, from culturally indoctrinating certain types of corals and carp blocks. Yes, quite a lot of them. Whatever. So this has just been not really an episode. It's just kind of been me just mucking around, just 1,000 yards there. I'm going to do the jumping up and down, but I'm not going to do that other stuff because it's just too disturbing for words. So here's the escape, and I'll get on to something more useful. I'm going to basically do a set of tutorials on different types of cables, different types of power, how to sort stuff, and so on and so forth. And we're going to quarry out a gigantic mountain, which I will explain as we go along because it's going to be so exciting. Quarrying out an entire mountain that stretches up into the stratosphere. Oh, we're going to build some Bhutan monasteries while we're on the way. Yeah, well, there you go. See, we'll see.